Alrighty, and welcome back. We got another game in our hands. Welcome back to the NGS, the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Bahamut, your caster. On the left, we have ReGen. On the right, we got Dad Force. Looks like chat is already active. Gotta at least give a shout out to the very active member of chat. Ban-wise, though, Brax's holdout. Wave clear is typically the priority here, but I'm curious to see what they're going to be going in for. I don't know. Like, it really depends on the comp here. If they've done research, they probably want to ban out the ETC going up in against the ReGen. I do not know enough about Dad Force to know, but it looks like they're going to go for a Medivh ban right off the bat here. Oh, and they're saying Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, Happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian friends. Bets on ReGen. I'm just not. Wow. On the left-hand side, though, ReGen are going to be taking this ban. That Medivh ban from Dad Force, that's weird to me, but oh well. I don't think that Medivh is that early of a priority, especially for ReGen. But what are they going to be banning out here? They could most likely get rid of some sort of either global, or maybe get rid of the Genji cheese, or maybe get rid of Cho'Gall. If they don't want to go up against it and they know that it's a potential threat. But we'll see. This early game ban. I wonder what it's going to be. Just making sure that everything on the screen is also updating. They're going to go for the Kel'Thuzad ban here. And they're going to pick up ETC themselves. Not a bad idea. ETC, very powerful, very versatile. I mean, he just offers so much for the team, and it really doesn't give away too much to the draft for Dad Force here. But on the side of ReGen, what are they going to take in this 1-2 slot? Gul'dan Garrosh. Honestly, it's a solid composition. It works well together. Navala picked up with a Morales. Honestly, teams are set up pretty well here. I really like what they've gone into. I just gotta check one thing here, so we're gonna miss the music. The one thing I did not check, as always, is my playback devices. Okay, cool. So we are all set. We can go ahead and just focus on this draft again. And they're going to go ahead and ban out the Tassadar. I guess they were considering that they would go into a hypercarry Vala here. Tassadar, not a horrible idea, but I don't know if they're... I feel like if they were going into it, they would have picked it a little bit earlier. I don't think the Morales, would have been a priority. Then again, it could have potentially been picked up with the Gul'dan, because that is something that they can often run together. They're hovering Uther currently, but I don't think that's the healer that they'd be going into realistically. I think a Stukov ban would be a little bit stronger. Stukov offers a little bit more on this map. The zoning, as I think always mention, and I have to. It's just because it's one of those things that you cannot forget with Stukov. And I feel like it might have been overlooked by Dad Force here. ReGen just... I see them often running Stukov, so... There's the Stukov. They're going to get the Genji for the cheese on the boss. As we literally saw last night? My casting days blur together so much. But either way, this is kind of, I think, almost the exact same composition, if not the ETC was the only difference. Either way, Dad Force is going to be picking up these last two spots. They're going to need wave clear, and they're going to need a solo laner. So a Kael'thas and like a Sonya Dahaka. Actually, ooh, what if they go Alarak? I kind of like the Alarak here. Displacement's really good. Because they can run a solo tank, solo healer. That Morales is perfectly fine by herself, and ETC is great. I think it needs to be Kael'Thas and Alarak. That's just me personally, what I think their composition needs. What they end up drafting is probably going to be something different. We're going to go for the Malthael Ariel. That's really interesting. I understand they're gonna do the super hyper carry strong Vala in bottom, but and that's a Zagara for the top lane. Okay, so Malthael versus Zagara here. That's interesting. Malthael versus Zagara. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm a little torn. I'm not saying it's bad by any means, but it's just, I don't know, these drafts, just not 100% on these. But either way, we'll talk about them in a minute. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we have ReGen with Templart on Garrosh, Ragnarok on Stukov, Altanian on Gul'dan, Murda on Zagara, and Zul'Kan on Genji. On the right-hand side, we are going to have Dadforce with Tofitz on Ariel, Big Beard on Vala, Zad on Malthael, Rory on ETC, and Velvet on Morales. The only thing I fear about that whole matchup is that I don't know if Malthael might honestly get pushed in quite a bit, but then as the game goes on, I don't know if he might actually get some counter onto her. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of Malthael versus Zagara, and I wonder if he's gonna have some good clear up against her creep. Will his W affect that, even though it doesn't have the mark on it? We'll see. We will definitely see as we are going into this game. Now, some of these first level pickups that we are going to be having here. We actually have the standard at this point, which is the clear from Morales. We actually, I believe, Pale Horse? No, that's not right. Fear the Reaper. I'm still learning all of his talents, just making sure I learn them all. Garrosh is actually going to be going into body check? Interesting. I don't think I've ever casted a game where a Garrosh has gone into body check. I can't remember one. Either way, we're going to get going into this game. Bottom lane is going to be the focus of... Oh, okay, good. Okay. Either way, it looks like they're currently going to be running support with the Malthael. Question is, does the crown show to the enemy team? That's the one thing I'm not too sure of. But currently, we're having just a lot of posturing in bottom lane. No one's really going in for too much of a kill. We're going to slide in, going to get a little bit of damage out, but they're going to try and do a little bit of counter as well. Templar will try and get that pull, but it will not be enough. Just peeking up into the top lane. Murda is going to be going up against Zad here, and it looks like Tofitz is just hiding out in the bush. I hope he's not watching a movie or anything. You gotta make sure that he keeps that up. But either way, we'll peek up there every so often. At this point, it looks like it's going to be pretty evenly matched with that Ariel up there as well. And the one thing I want to note here is Gul'dan did go into the corruption stacks. So that's going to be something really, really powerful as this game progresses here. And currently, just to note in top, we do have that getting pushed in a little bit. They definitely going to be a little bit more aggressive. This is a 2v1, so they do have the advantage in this lane. Meaning, though, in bottom, though, they do have an advantage for themselves for ReGen, and Velvet taking quite a bit of damage. Rag going to get a huge zone here with this. Just that lurking arm is going to provide a lot of utility. So they just don't want to walk through it. And it looks like they will rotate Tofitz down into the bottom lane at this point. We'll take one of those corruption hits. And it's just going to be the solo laners at this point in top. And now with the Ariel here, they can be a little bit more aggressive on the side of Dadforce. And I'm curious to see, are we going to see that aggression? Because currently, I mean, we have double healer. They should be able to live through just about anything now. Velvet taking quite a bit of damage. Rory going to get tossed here. Power slide through a couple of the members. Templar taking quite a bit of damage. The Pustule is out on a few of them, but he doesn't have the healing himself. He will be able to get through the gate, and he won't be dying. There will be the protect out from Zul'Kan. And at this point, I mean, they're just a little bit back and forth. Templar taking a little bit of damage, but they'll go ahead and hold over this point. Now, top lane, we currently just have Zad diving into Murder a little bit, but he is not going to be able to get the kill. Still just laning up, and it's you know, half health to full-ish health. But in our bottom lane, it's still just nice and back and forth. This looks like they're going to trade this point after going down for that regen globe. Templar will have the zone here. There's the pull in from Garrus. The toss is out. They do get the charge going over to the side of regen. Rory going to go ahead and try and stop this. He's currently staying on the silence. He's not able to do anything, but they are starting to push these members back. Morales will stop that at this point. Velvet getting the turnover at the start there. Big Beard going to take a little bit of damage from Templar. Going to back off. Rory going to get that knockback as well. And it's just, once again, it's just a back and forth. I mean, most of the members of Dead Force are a little low on mana, so they can go in a little bit more so on the side of regen, but they're really not taking too much of an advantage. They get the toss onto Rory once again. He's low on mana, so he might be able to get like a knockback or a power slide, so he's definitely going to want to hold that mana bar. They do currently have a silence onto most of the members, splitting them up. Ariel going a little far forward there, going to take a little bit of damage, but they are able to back up, and they're just playing this very well on the side of Dead Force. They're managing regen just off this point consistently. Rory going to get pulled in once again, but there's no follow-up toss. The zone is there from Rag for the silence. Genji Zul'Kan's going to dive in and get that kill onto Vala, and that'll be the first kill of the game going over to regen. Now top lane, we currently have Zad getting pushed in quite a bit from Murda. And that's something we'll just have to note. We have a power slide through from Rory. Knockback as well, and it looks like they're just going to go ahead and just stay in this lane, soak up the experience, and just at this point they have to wait for the Zerg wave in top. And actually they should be starting to rotate a few of their assets up into that lane for the defense here. And unfortunately, they might have to just give over this bottom. Rory going to stay down here with Velvet. Looks like there will be the Vala and Ariel rotating up against the Zagara. They should be able to get this clear without too much of an issue. Go ahead and just peek in this bottom lane as well. No, this is just going to be an even clear for both teams. Regen's going to get, obviously, the most value out of this because of the fact that they do have the 100% Zerg wave, and it's just going to be pushing up, getting the gate. That Zagara has been doing quite a bit of damage to. Zag going to zone Murda back a little bit, making sure he doesn't, push him with those Banelings as well. Now in bottom, though, we do have a lot of damage going on into Rory, but it looks like he will be able to walk away. Regen going to open up this gate as well, and they're just going to continue to open up this map and really get very good control over the lanes. I mean, you can already see Zagara spraying that creep throughout the top pretty well. Look to see her hopefully expand a little bit more onto the aggressive side. You really want to make, once you get those alleys of creep out, it's going to be very hard for Dead Force to make rotations. They're going to have to play a lot safer. As long as you're providing vision consistently with the Zagara outside of your lane as well, that's definitely something to look for. Now, in bottom lane, they are going to try and get this forward over, but it looks like they will get chased out by Rory, Velvet, and Zad. And they back off, and they have the aggressive. I mean, it's 3. They can go into this. There is no ultimates or anything, but it's currently, if they can get onto that backline Morales, which with the composition they have, it shouldn't be too crazy, especially with that Genji. But he goes ahead and rotates up into top lane. It looks like he will be helping out Murda, maybe getting a pick onto the Ariel, currently focusing Big Beard a little bit. Gonna dash through, gonna get the dive back out. So he'll just be up there going ahead and just waiting for Zagara to at least go back, get full on mana and health. And what? Wow. I guess they're picking it up to counteract the Morales healing? I don't know. Toss on to Tofit's there, but it's not over the gate. They are going to get quite a bit of damage. There is a dash through from Genji. Dive back, and he will get the kill. They're not able to get another toss, unfortunately, so that is just going to be the one kill going over to Regen, but that is quite a bit of power in their favor. They will rotate Murda down into this bottom lane, have him push up a little bit, trying to get that fort. And as well as, I mean, this is where the solo laners are now going to be. Everyone else is currently in the top lane, just going for that 4-man defense. They are rotating their Ariel back into position just now. They might honestly get this fort before they actually get everyone in position. Knockback from Rory just to kind of displace them here. Gul'dan going to get quite a bit of damage out. Just barely done with those corruption stacks as well. Big Beard going to at least try and clear out this camp. And unfortunately, they really can't do too much. We're already taking quite a bit of damage. There's a huge toss into Tofuts. Unfortunately, there's no follow-up damage from any of the members. Zolcan going to try and chase here. Gul'dan going to get a little bit of corruption. He does have the Dragon Blade. It is used. There is the pull from Garrosh. Actually, Velvet currently going to be the next victim, potentially. They get the dash out. They get another swipe onto Big Beard, and they're going to go ahead and back away after they lose 2 members here, as well as the fort. That Roachling is going to be the hero. No, it's going to be Zagara. This looks like it's going to be another Zerg wave in the favor of ReGen. Looks like they're going to go ahead and move on to this fort, open this up a little bit, and just wait for the Zerg wave to potentially come. Now, they might be able to they converted in time, and actually, ReGen leaving the door open, they slow this down, and now, granted, it just buys time for Dad Force, and I really like this. At least for them, they call the retreat. They get the pull onto Zad here. He's going to be taking quite a bit of damage. There is no Tormented Souls, and he was taunted as well as silenced, so he was going nowhere. So they go ahead and confirm that back over in bottom lane with Zagara. And with the team, ooh, they move straight onto the boss. So it looks like they will be utilizing Zul'Kan for the deflect, and they should be able to melt down this boss quite quickly and time it out with the Zerg wave, because I believe bottom is just a little bit stronger than top. No, I think it's just random at this point since they're even. Maybe it will just go top because there is no Zerg wave there. Either way, they are taking quite a bit of time on that, so it is going to. They will be able to clear a little bit of the front line from this. They're not going to get an insane sort of value from this delay, but we do have the boss currently going into top. The 10 still haven't been achieved for Dad Force, and it's getting kind of close for them, but they need to play this extremely safe. They don't want to stagger any deaths. They do get 10s themselves. So we do have the snap picks of Mosh Pit, Stim Drone, Tormented Souls. Do we get the Strafe? Or do we get... So there's Aegis. Do we have Strafe, or do we have... So we have Rain of Vengeance. Okay. Power slide in from Rory onto Templar. They're just zoning them back, but this is definitely going to be a keep falling here in the bottom lane. And it looks like ReGen's going to go ahead and back off and maybe go up and push with their boss, potentially going for a second keep. It doesn't have the most power in the world, but off of this they could potentially get their 13s, and that is going to be a little bit of a power spike for them that they definitely can value here over. They can kind of lord it over Dad Force, and, you know, kind of force them back a little bit. They have to play a little bit safer now that they don't have that, you know, talent tier advantage, as well as it's about a 3 level, you know, you're 3 levels down. They get the pull in on Velvet, but unfortunately there is no follow-up toss. Dive in from Rory, the knockback as well. Currently just have, they're working on the boss, and it's going to get about near half the keep. Zagara looks like she will be backdooring this keep currently, pushing up the wave, playing safe. So I called that a little bit too early, and they rotate down. They go ahead and make sure that she doesn't get the push that she is looking to get. Now they're going to go ahead and play the safe game here on the side of ReGen, and looks like they're going to pick up the camps. No, they're going to rotate in the lane, potentially go for a pick onto Malthael here. Zad going to be a little far out. He dodges the pustule. Does get the... Oh, he gets tossed over by Templar. The taunt is out as well, and they burst him down. So it's going to be a staggered death, while Zagara is going to rotate around this map, making sure that these camps are picked up, and just also making sure that the lane pressure is consistent with the team so they can make these rotations and go for those solo picks, or maybe just push up the lane a little bit. And it looks like, I wouldn't be too surprised they go for this camp. They go and push in against that keep, open up this map for themselves a little bit more before the next Zerg wave. So they're really just, as long as you maintain control consistently on a map like this, Dad Force is just going to be constantly playing on their heels, and they're not going to be able to bounce back unless they do get that, you know, maybe they get that pick onto Zagara, but as you can see, she's playing behind the halfway mark of the entire map almost. Now that the team is here, obviously Murda will be rotating in with the team. They're going to go ahead and push into this bottom lane, confirm this keep, get catapults into this lane, and make sure that they can continue the pressure. But they walk the camp in, and it looks like they'll back off right away. They do have 13, so they can potentially... They do have some little bit of an advantage, but they're going to back off and just go for the control points at this point for the Zerg wave. Now, Zagara has pushed up top quite a bit. They dedicate the entire team to this point. Zagara will rotate over there. Boss isn't up for quite some time. As a referee, I guess you can't say boss timer anymore. So, yeah, that's just a fun difference. But we do have Rory currently going through this bush. Do they get the throw? No, they save the throw. They go ahead and they get this camp, and with the charge happening, they are stuck in in with their keep. They can't lane out for fear of, you know, dying before 13 and staggering deaths before this huge Zerg wave is going to be marching down their lane. So this is the do or die time for Dad Force. They gotta make some sort of big play here. I don't know how, I don't know what, but they just need it. There's the stasis onto Morales that is pulled out right away, so they don't have that huge taunt onto 3 of the members. Dragon Blade comes out, they get the kill onto Lieutenant Morales. Ariel will be falling next along with ETC. Tormented Souls is used as well, but Zul'Kan diving so far, gonna get so much value there. And Malthael, the Tormented Souls is over, and now the Zerg Wave is just arriving onto the keep. They get the pull onto Big Beard. The toss is there as well. He will get focused, and that is going to be his death. And it looks like this is going to be ReGen currently walking up to the core and finishing this game number 1. We're going to be going into game number 2, though. Dragonshire. So game number 1 going over to ReGen. GG. Well played. Alrighty, and welcome back. Let's take a look at some of these numbers before we go into our game number 2. I should drink some water before we came back, but that was just such a powerful inning. 85,000 on the cigar. Now Vala still topping almost every stat except for experience, basically. Excuse me, no, I lied. I didn't see the Kenji numbers or the Gul'dan numbers. But either way, I mean, phenomenal play out of both teams. Not really, I mean, 0 to 10 kills. So I that is something that I definitely need to note, that ReGen looks like this is a composition they run often and they feel comfortable on. So it's definitely something that people need to be looking out for. This is something that looks like they're strong on, obviously. That you could tell how well they held that map together. Talent-wise, we'll just take a peek at those really quick. Just kind of throw these up. That way everyone gets to see what was taken, what was picked up, what's the interest, what are the highlights. And honestly, it doesn't look like it's anything too out of the ordinary. And one thing I'm curious. So it's taking the stun. Yeah, okay. I wonder, because there's the slow. I wonder if that might have been a little bit more useful against the Stukov Gul'dan. Because I believe Gul'dan has a slow baked in, there's slow in corruption. Excuse me. Either way, Twitch chat will know. And I'm sure Zagara has a slow. I don't know. I think the other safeguard might have been a little bit stronger at 7. Either way, great play from both teams though. So we're gonna go ahead and set up game number 2's lobby. Where are you? Okay. Go ahead and just send out this lobby link. And how is my beautiful chat doing this evening? Hi to everyone in there. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. There was someone who actually followed really early. Mirat, thank you so much. Team number 1. Let's swap team. And I believe that is set. We just need the other team to get in here. And we will get going soon. I'm just like scrolling up through Twitch chat right now. Hey, Hero Physio, by the way. Hi. Thanks for swinging by. And I heard your Twitter announcement. Thanks for, thanks for all of your hard work. Like, Hero Physio did... I don't know. You were an inspiration to me, and I'm sad to see you not heading in that the stream direction anymore. But you know what, real careers are kind of real life. So, obviously you're going to be around. You're not going anywhere, but definitely if you ever want to do a co-cast, just hit me up. If you ever feel that itch ever again, I'm your guy. I'll swing some co-cast with you. Let me just double check that the teams are ready, and. We'll get going in game number 2. Alrighty. Oh. I just looked over at my Discord really quickly and someone posted a picture of their cat and I'm like, oh, that's just an adorable little cat. Alrighty. Just gotta double check that these teams are ready and we'll be going into Dragonshire.
A new subscriber has been acquired.
Well, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. That actually, I like just looked over. Thank you. Oh my god, thank you. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Wow. Just double checking on teams once again. Okay. Thank you, Lord of Freedom. Because I thought he had a level 7 talent that I thought there was. It seemed like in the last game there were a lot of slows, and that Morales cleanse type, because I feel like they're with a lot of supports they're making people choose, like they're making you look at the compositions and go, do they have a lot of stuns? Do they have a lot of slows? Like what is going to be the priority for my team? And in that situation, I probably honestly would have gone for the other one, mostly because of the fact. Saw the broadcast post on. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you so much for the sub too. I love it. Okay. We have a ready from one team. We are just currently waiting on ReGen to give us that last ready. Okay. We're going to let them know to good luck, have fun, and we are going into game number 2, Dragonshire. Welcome to the family. Yes, as Rag said, welcome to the family. But ReGen's going to first ban first pick here, and Dragonshire, Okay, I was going to say, you either pick Dahaka or you ban him here, and I like that they're banning Dahaka. So they're not going to be taking it, but that's interesting to me because, I don't know, Dahaka has so much value. Insta ban, 2 seconds right away. They don't even let that thing through. And it's a first pick ETC. I mean, in the past we've seen ReGen run this. We literally just saw Dadforce run this. Like, ETC, I'm glad that he's back. Now we just need to get Tyrael back because he's always been powerful. And I think maps like this, like I say this often, but to be honest, a lot of the Heroes of the Storm maps have this value where it's like you have to fight us over this objective because obviously there are objectives. It's far and few between, like, the ones that this doesn't happen is a lot like Garden Terror or oh god, I just had it in the backup, like Blackheart's Bay. Like a lot of these maps where you have to like spread around, like Haunted Mines. These they're powerful but not as strong. But like Tyrael, there's so much control in maps like this where there's these, you have to fight within these shrines. You have to fight. Oh my god, Bragg, thank you so much for the resub.
It's
3 months.
3 awesome months. Baha, keep up the awesome work. Less than 3.
Thank you so much. Oh, 3 months. I can't believe it. It has been 3 months of just non-stop Heroes streaming. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It just warms my heart whenever people do that. Thank you again. Before we go into this ban phase, Stukov Greymane. Okay. I was gonna say they're gonna need to pick up their healer probably, and they're gonna pick up an assassin. And it looks like it's gonna be the Greymane, which not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. The dive from him's really good. If you can technically run him as that solo lane if you want. So the options for ReGen are very, very open. Now, that's not to say it's not to say any different for Dadforce. They only have a Jaina Garrosh, so their door is very open. Now, granted, they did go with an early mage, so look to probably see ReGen maybe ban out something in the healer area or something maybe more of something assassin for this map. Honestly, me personally, please go Abathur Illidan. Like, Abathur Illidan, maybe throw in an Ariel? Or you could go Rhaegar. Rhaegar is really strong as well. Or even Uther. Either way, I think Abathur Illidan would be strong here, mostly because he can pretty much hold an entire shrine by himself. But we'll see what people go in for that. They're going to ban out the Global. They're going to ban out the Falstad. Oh. Just Twitch chat, like every time I peek over at it, it's just so great that you guys are all there. Thank you so much for being there. But that Falstad ban, not bad at all. Just really getting rid of that global aspect that ReGen could realistically go into. It's something that I believe they do play often, and it is something that works on this map. So it's a strong ban on the side of Dadforce. Now ReGen, I think you limit the healer pool at this point. You make sure that they get something that really affects your team. So if you're afraid of the Uther in some way, ban out him. But I personally think the Rhaegar might be the priority here. Actually, you know what? Maybe Malfurion. You get the cooldown in the the cooldown on the mana to Jaina for the team fight. His slowing his heal. Maybe you go for something like a Tassadar with that as well. That would leave you a solo Garrosh, and then if you go into the Tassadar, you might want to pick up something like a Vala, but that's going to be just a Rhaegar. Okay, we're not going to go down this rabbit hole. Second to last pick. They could go to a solo lane or flex on the solo lane. No, I think they might want to pick up their main damage. Or at least, not main damage, but... Do they go into a second tank is the question, actually. Alarak works here. Thrall works here. Do you go for the orcs? Thrall wouldn't be bad, to be honest. It's gonna be Sonya. We don't get the Orc Bro dream. But on the side of ReGen, I was thinking Thrall because the Sunder would be a very good disengage engage. It interrupts Stukov in the backline, as well as you could technically still go Earthquake. That works very well with the Ring of Frost, as well as just Jaina's ability, because if you slow people down, they're not getting away. I thought it might be just some very fun little thing that they could go into, but either way, they're going to get that Sonya with the Rhaegar. Now, this last two picks on the side of ReGen. Do they go into the Malthael? Malthael wouldn't be bad. It would work with the Greymane dive. And what do you go on top of that? I say Abathur, but that's just me, and I know it's not going to be true. Malthael. I love it. There's an Abathur game. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, cool. No, I'm really like the composition. I think it works very well together. As long as they get the as long as Abathur doesn't get punished, they will be fine. Now, let's just go completely on the end of the spectrum. What if they Nova? You can technically Zeratul here. Do they go into the Zeratul to try and counter the Abathur? Maybe get into that backline and really harass him out of some of the lanes, force him back into the keeps? The dive might work onto Stukov as well, maybe? Nova's just one of those things that you have to kind of say every so often, oh, I'm going slug hunting or something. But it looks like we are going to have something more realistic, probably, like a Lunara. The Wisp will be very good to see the rotations between that mid, as well as the basically from mid to top to mid, or bottom to mid. Definitely really helpful for those rotations, as well as her base speed will be good to get a couple pickup kills if they are going for a chase. The base slow is very good. The vision, overall, I think the draft from both teams is phenomenal. But if ReGen gets the map control with the Abathur, they'll be winning this game over handily, to be honest. But that's just my opinion, and I also favor Abathur. Either way, we're going to be going into game number 2, ReGen versus Dadforce. And the one thing I didn't do, I didn't update the team score. So let me just go ahead and pop that in really quick. There we go. On the left-hand side, we have ReGen with Murda on Malthael, Ragnarok on Stukov, Templar on ETC, Altanian on Greymane, and Zul'Kan on Abathur. On the right-hand side, we have Dadforce with Big Beard on Jaina, Zod on Sonya, Tofuts on Lunara, Garrosh played by Rory, and Rhaegar played by Velvets, I believe, is the one I missed. Or Sonya played by Zad. I apologize which one I missed, but tried to say them all. Either way, let's get into this game number 1. We're probably going to have the Malthael up in the top. Ooh, Malthael up against the Lunara in top. Poison v poison.
Battle commencing in 10 seconds.
Oh man, I just gazed over at.
5, 4.
Is Abathur bad? No, Abathur. Abathur is not bad. Shots fired, by the way, in Twitch chat, though. Dang. All right, but we're going to be focused on the game here. We do have currently a little bit of an engagement potentially starting out. They have the Malthael currently in top up against that Lunara. They've put 3 into mid, and they have Abathur already in bottom lane just going ahead and soaking this out. And the one thing is, how are they going to punish the Abathur is the question I want to know. Because if you let him get that free soak, it's going to be pretty powerful. We do have the pull and toss onto Ragnarok here. He will be taking quite a bit of damage. They currently are diving onto him, and they will not get the follow-up kill, so he will be able to walk out of there without a problem. Now, Abathur is going into, it looks like the mine build here, so that's going to be a lot of good slow around the map as well. It's providing very, very good vision post 4, if I'm not mistaken. You get the global mine talent. And just constantly putting mines in these bushes for these rotations, it's going to slow them down. It gives vision for the team. They know when to disengage. And actually, we currently have a dive in top lane, and that is going to be Lunara dying up there to Altanian. And meanwhile, in bottom, they haven't really put anyone down here, and Abathur has been just lane soaking. Now, the question is, we can look. Abathur, okay. I think Abathur is still getting, like, hat value in the bottom lane. Either way, currently have the shrine being held over by both teams. Altanian's going to go in this top lane. Bigbeard will have to back off here. Velvet going to be in position for the pickup, but it wasn't look like it was received in time. Rag going to be able to zone out Zad here, and Templar will be able to convert this back over, but at the same time, Tofitz will go ahead and get this top point. Altanian having to back off at this point. Now we do have a little bit of a fight in bottom, but it doesn't look like it's going to be yielding anything, honestly. Do have a toss onto Murda, and he will be dying here. I was saying yielding nothing. Templar might be the next one to fall. He does get the knockback, but they do not give chase to him, and they go ahead. They get the point converted over, and it looks like Bigbeard is set up for this shrine collection, but there are 2 mines on the point, which will delay this for a few seconds. They get the slow. Rory's in place for this. There's the minion. The minion that always stops you, and Altanian with the Abathur hat will push Tofitz off of that point. Bottom lane, though, is currently just being contested over. They are pushing back quite hard here. Zulkan just trying to do as much as he can with the Abathur hats, as well as his Locust. Zad just pushing back so far, and Velvet just providing that little bit of burst that he needs every so often of healing. And we do have a little bit of a fight between Murda and Rory. It looks like we do have the positioning once again for Bigbeard, and I don't think they can convert this over in time. We currently have them on the point, and they do get it in time. They will not be able to get the Dragon Knight, and the bottom is converted back over, and they have to back off, mostly because of the fact that it is the 3 members currently down here, and it just they don't want to go too deep, especially against that Malthael. He might do some hurt on that Sonya. But now that we have Garrosh down here, still good. You know, these are percentile damage over time, so they actually hold this over. But currently, no one in mid. Definitely, this is where that. Are we serious? Abathur grabs the Dragonite, and that's going to be Greymane falling in top lane to Bigbeard and Tofitz. And currently, though, the Dragonite is going to be marching his way down the mid lane. Murda, though, gonna be getting killed by Velvet. They get the counter kill with the poison over time. The healing totem wasn't enough. Now Tofitz is actually going to be backing off here. They get the kick on to Zad. Okay. He's tossed away. I think he is into the fray from Garrosh. Gets the tap onto the well, and they open up this mid lane for ReGen, and they're going to back off at this point. Now, they have to know Abathur's in here. Like, posturing around the Dragonite, death isn't, typically, it dies, you get a little bit of a chase, but, like, Abathur's like a 4-hit hero. Like, most of these people, especially like a Jaina, definitely. Templar will actually get thrown over the wall. Currently going to get body blocked by a couple of the members of Dadforce. He looks like he's actually going to be able to get out of here. Now, Abathur currently just getting out of the Dragon Knight. Templite taking quite a bit of damage. Will get healed up by Ragnarok. The pustle's on him, but is the healing going to be enough? The Abathur hat is there as well. Zad doing so much damage onto Murda. He's going to fall from that poison spear that was picked up at level 7. Ragnarok going to be falling as well, and that is going to be... They get the Abathur out, but they lose 2 heroes at the same time, and this is a really, really good power spike for Dadforce in this situation. They, honestly, if they can push their lanes out and get a little bit of momentum underneath them, they can really start to carry this game in their favor, because that's what a lot of these maps are. I mean, a lot of these games are just momentum based, and if you can get it in your favor and keep it going, that's just all you really need to do. But at this point, they're going to go ahead and just really play the safe game. They're going to just clear out the wave, get the soak, and they're just going to create some lane pressure with some of these camps. ReGen's going to do the same thing. We do have a little bit of invade currently. Rory will get the pull, but it doesn't look like they get Murda with it. There's the vision out from Tofuts. There is a little bit of zoning from Rag there. Templar is coming in with the Abathur hat. Going to get tossed over the wall. He doesn't have a power side, I believe, so it looks like they're going to have to be giving this one over. And yeah, they steal it away, and that's a very nice aggressive play on the side of Dadforce, and they're up about a level at this point with some of those early game conversions and making sure that they're pushing their lanes out consistently and really not punishing the Abathur, but just they're mitigating his value. And that's the thing that I kept talking about in draft is if Abathur gets the value on the map, then that's where it goes out of control. But the one thing that I will note here is they're dedicating someone to every lane, so Abathur really can't do any sort of like mid lane soaking or any sort of body soaking or aggressive, and that's kind of holding them back down this level a little bit. Plus, they're also weak in a team fight because of the fact that they don't have 10 and they don't have the copy yet. Now, 10s are achieved on the side of Dadforce, so we do have Warlord's Challenge, Ancestral Healing, Ring of Frost, Leaping Strike. Now, Sonya's holding out, and fingers crossed it's the Leap. Because I feel like you snap pick that Leap. I think it's what, Control 1? You jump on them at the last second, then you follow up with the Ring, you get the, taunt. There's just so many options for the setup for that fight. But either way, we'll keep an eye on that. Now, Altanian is going to go ahead and get that top point. They go ahead and get 10s on the side of ReGen. They're going to go get the Tormented Souls Flailing Swipe, Mosh Pit, not Evolved Monstrosity, excuse me, Ultimate Evolution. And Greyman's going to hold out, but I believe it's going to be Curse Bullet. No, it's going to be go for the throat. They're going to go for the damage. Okay. Interesting. At this point, ReGen will be rotating together. They get the ping onto one of the members. Power slide onto tap. Oh, a huge double moth onto 2 of the members. They get the kill onto Garrosh here. Zag going to be taking quite a bit of damage as well. Sonya is going to be falling. That is going to be the Rhaegar falling as well. And so they get 3 kills off of this, and it looks like that clone, that's exactly what they needed. They have that extra man in the fight. Zul'Kan doubled up, pushing Big Beard back. And this is going to set them up. Actually, Murda could be... He could have been in position for this Dragon Knight, honestly. Abathur is going to go ahead and tunnel into mid. No, it got canceled. I think he was afraid of Lunar, but that puts it on a 10-second cooldown. And this honestly buys... I was a little greedy on the side of ReGen, and unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get the Dragon Knight in time. Jaina will go up into top. Now, Tofuts will be taking a lot of damage. We'll have the Leaping Strike to be able to get out of here. Sonya's going to be utilizing Leap to get into this fight, so that's going to be down for another 70 seconds or so. 60 seconds, excuse me. And at this point, I mean, we're back to exactly right before those 3 kills. They got those kills, and they started to close the experience gap, but realistically, ReGen, they didn't get value off of those 3 kills. They laned up a little bit too far. They didn't go for the Dragon Knight, and now you can see them, they need to go back and start to de-push the lanes, hold the Dragon Knight point over, and Dadforce is already in position for this, and they have most of their members in place. They could potentially get a couple kills here. Murda will get the top lane. Rory won't be able to capture this at this time, so they're gonna have to just back off at this point, and it's the same thing for them. It's the same thing for Dadforce. They really are, they're close to 13s, which they can maybe play a little bit more aggressive once they get that power spike. Abathur trying to just get that side soak as much as he can with that hat and that body soak in top lane. We do get the pull on to Altanian. He is going to be able to use the roll dash to get out. There is the healing pustule. The slow is there. The flailing swipe is out. Keep a few of the members safe. They do get the toss onto Velvet. Looks like the Gilneas was thrown forward there. Malthea will go ahead, get a little bit of, try and get the wave out, but it looks like Rhaegar will hold the point over in bottom. Abathur still in top, getting that body soak. This is what we talk about. This is where Abathur thrives, where he can actually body soak one lane. Now this positioning, that is terrifying. I know you have mines right there, but whew, that is scary. But this is what I was saying though. You can, you know, hat a lane and get the soak, you know, by having the hat in that lane, and then you can body soak while the team is, you know, being pressured in another. Granted, though, they do currently have the setup for this on the side of ReGen. Templar in the bush currently, but Rory already there for that interrupt, making sure that it doesn't happen. Knockback from Templar, making sure that they don't get the pull. The taunt is there. Lunar trying to get a bunch of damage out. That is going to be happening. There's a toss. Templar with very few health. The minion's going to be thrown forward. They do not get the kill onto him, and so they're going to have to back off here. And it looks like bottom's, they're trying to work that in as well. Zag going to rotate down here with Velvet. And they're going to go ahead and hold this bottom point, which gives them Dragonite control. Now, Jaina can rotate in position for this, but we do have Abathur mines in place, and Templar is already there, so they do have the scout for this, as well as they have someone in position ready to block the potential. Actually, they have 4 members here to block the potential, but we also see at the same time, Dadforce is in position as well for this fight. Abathur going to go ahead and stop the top lane. He's going to be getting quite good value there, but that does show, I believe it does show him up there. All the ultimates are down. It's been quite some time, so it looks like they just kind of like postured. They said, you know what? We're not going to take the fight. Let's just back off. Let's just back off. We're not going to take this. At this point, Abathur is just going to be trying to save this top lane as best as he can. We do have a camp being picked up on the side of Dadforce here. Garish will scout out that bush. Rory not being able to get a pull there. And at this point, I mean, Abathur's kind of holding back top very well with the Locust, as well as just hatting some of the buildings. But at the same time, they're hurting a little bit in the experience factor because he's not able to soak. Well, he's hatting some of the lanes out, it looks like, actually. So he's getting the value. Just it looked like it was a way further different experience gap, and I was like, wow, they're really pushing him back. But no, it's still being closed up. 16s are quite close. We actually have a leap in from Sonya here. There is a disengage from Ragnarok with that flailing swipe, and they go ahead and they make sure that they don't get picked off here, and that's going to be a pretty powerful disengage for them, because not losing one of the members of your team there is just that bottom fort would have been gone. Big Beard actually gets the snipe onto there. The Templar going to go ahead, slide in. There will be the instant disengage from Garrosh, and we already see Abathur pushing in that mid. He's already in position for that next Dragonite. They move on to this point, and I don't think... Oh, they're huge Ring of Frost. I believe it's dodged by everybody. Templar taking quite a bit of damage. The taunt is out as well. The silence is there, and they actually get the kill on the ETC. The clone is out, though, so now they have another ETC to deal with. Tofuts is currently taking quite a bit of damage. The dive in onto Lunar will be the kill. Tosses out from Rory. Tosses Velvet just to get him out as well. And Zul'Kan is going to be in that Abathur clone, going to be just zoning some of these members back, making sure that this peel is real. But they actually end up backing off on the side of ReGen, and they go ahead and rotate into their mid lane, just start to push that back. They don't have 16, so I think they're just trying to play this extremely safe. Zul'Kan needs to be really careful if someone rotates on through his side of the map. But it looks like Sonya's going to be taking that short route, making sure that they try and save the top fort, but I believe this minion wave should be able to clear it up quite quickly. Garage, that's going to be a pull onto Zul'Kan. The toss is out as well, the stun, and that is going to be a dead slug in the mid lane. Unfortunately, the Pajamathur will be taking a nap for a few seconds here. And that's going to be Sonya rotating up into the point, getting the conversion, making sure that they go for the Dragonite. But it looks like ReGen's going to be denying that as quickly as possible so they don't have this. And this has just been a back and forth game. These guys have just been playing... They've been playing the map, honestly. They've just been playing the objective. Rory going to go ahead and jump onto this point. Sonya can rotate into position for the Dragonite at this time, and that would be the best option for them on the side of Dadforce. They get the most value. This is a 13-14 minute Dragonite. It's going to be pretty powerful. They just need to zone for Sonya to get in position, and they should be able to get that. There is no Abathur to put down mines for delay. None of these members can rotate in time, and they will be confirming this Dragonite on the side of Dadforce. So Zad will be going ahead and picking up that Dragonite. Walking into bottom lane, definitely opening this up is going to be really, really strong for them, mostly because of the fact that this is a lane with the shrine in it. So, you know, fighting over this point, not having this fort to, you know, fight around and be defended under is going to be very powerful for Dadforce. So ReGen, they're unfortunately going to have to they're going to have to give up this fort and probably a little bit of their keep gate. This Dragonite's still pretty high health, but once they have all these cannons shooting, they should be able to kind of burn down this Dragonite without fail. But Lunar getting so much poison out. Rag will utilize the Lurking Arm for the zone here. It's going to work out quite well, but at the same time, Dragonite will be chunking this down quite a bit, opening up the lane. And still, half health Dragon Knight with 27 seconds left. Now, we do have Abathur currently pushing up that top lane quite hard. That's the one thing we need to note. So they are getting a lot of value in that top lane. But that's the Bridge of Death lane, and that's typically not the lane we often see a lot of ends and contester. This bottom lane is very, very heavily prioritized sometimes. And we just saw that's the keep gone. There is a toss onto Zad. They get out of here. And the power slide out. They get the taunt onto one of the members, but that looks like they're utilizing it as the disengage. The taunt is out as well. The Malthael is actually going to get a huge... There's a Ring of Frost right underneath it. They're going to get the ETC right away. The Ancestor Healing does not connect onto Rory in time. Tovitz is taking so much damage from Malthael. That will be the kill on to Lunara. Zad going to be taking quite a bit as well. Zul'Kan just turns around. They get the kill onto Zad. They're not going to be getting Big Beard. But Zad, do they have the Mythical Spirit for the juke? Zul'Kan taking quite a bit of damage. The Ancestor Healing does connect because the cooldown from when it was trying to hit... Oh my god. So since it didn't hit Rory, they had it off that 10-second cooldown, so they saved Sonya. They only lose 2 members, so it's a 2-for-1 trade, and that's the best situation, honestly, for Dad Force. And now ReGen, they're going to take advantage of this. They only lost 1 member. Just their ETC. They have Abathur pushing the lane, so it is 3v3, but they also have to keep in mind there's hats, there's mines, there's Locust constantly pushing up the lane. We just saw, this is the value that Zul'Kan got during that entire phasing. He opened up that lane a little bit. Ragnarok? They're not going to scout that out. Okay. So it looks like they'll be able to burn that down, push that lane in with that camp. But it looks like ReGen is going to go ahead, return the favor, put a camp in top lane, and just, you know, cancel out the push.
The shrines are gathering power.
But at this point, it looks like they're going to go ahead and they get the siege camp here. And they're just, honestly, they're just playing the safe game. They're really not trying to play too far out in the lane here. They're postured up with Templar, but he does have to disengage right away. And they check the bush, I think, and they see him, and they all disengage. Now there is a Mosh that actually hits nobody. There's the Unstoppable there. Ring of Frost doesn't connect onto anyone, I believe, either. But we have someone taking so much damage. Zad is going to be popping, just hitting all the buttons on his keyboard, trying to stay alive. Rory taking so much damage as well. The power slide in from Templar. That will be Rory dying here. Zad going to be able to get out with about 500 health. And Zul'Kan stealing that kill onto the Garrosh. So at the same time, this top lane with the Abathur push is going to be winning out over time. Looks like they are going to be dedicating one of the members. Looks like Sonya will be rotating up there in time just to be pushing that out. And they're going to go ahead and pick up this Dragon Knight. This is going to be 17-minute Dragon Knight. And this is... Oh, Jaina will have a little bit of a delay, probably. They actually get the Ancestor healing onto Jaina in time. The Dragon Knight is still going to be picked up by Murda here. Zul'Kan getting... Or, excuse me, Altanian getting that disengage roll. And they're going to be rotating into the bottom lane, opening this up for themselves here. 20s are achieved for both teams. We actually have... That's Deathmosh, isn't it? We have seen ETC die a couple times in this game, so I like that pickup. That they have been playing a very aggressive ETC, so utilizing that Deathmosh is going to be something very strong against Dad Force. And they also have been clumping up in these team fights, so... Now, granted, I say that as he's power slid into that last one and didn't get anyone with a Mosh. So... You know, I have to also, you know, be careful of that. Now, Sonya's still in top lane. She is currently working down the siege camp as well as making sure that isn't going to get an extreme amount of value. But at this point, there is the pull, and it doesn't get the... They don't get the toss or anything, so this is going to be a keep going over to ReGen, and do they then just back off and open up mid lane? Because they can't really push onto a core. And opening up the mid lane is probably their best bet. Seeing as how Abathur has a lot of focus into that top lane with that camp, as well as he's kind of moving forward himself, and he needs to be careful. Looks like he will be backing off. Now he is showing by these walls, so Zad looks like he will be going for the chase, but the burrow's going to be out. Oh, the leap wasn't able to predict the location. So I just want to make sure, because, you know, no one ever wants to miss an Abathur kill. Like, sorry, Zul'Kan, but at the same time, like, you never want to miss the Abathur kill, because it's, you know, you never expect that one person to get killed. Either way, there's the pull onto Altanian, but unfortunately it's the minion that gets pulled. They're able to disengage from this, and they opened up mid. They got top just damaged out a little bit further, but they got... It's keep for keep in bottom currently, so that means that the siege camps, or excuse me, the catapults will kind of even out over time. That's a smart move for ReGen, because it does counteract the push that is going into their lane. So as long as they do get control in bottom... They definitely will get a lot of value here, and you can already see them picking up this hard camp, keeping that in the lane, so that will de-push a little bit. Abathur just all over the map at this point, making sure that he's trying to put all of those locusts out and just get that lane just a little bit further out as well. And just, honestly, very, very good map play and map control from Abathur. I mean, he's played quite safe. There was, there was that early game pick, but it happens. It happens. I just, I just love Abathur as much as possible because I enjoy playing it myself. But they will go ahead and they will clear that out before they rotate through all those mines. And just it makes me think back to like the time when, when mines used to be, when you could stack them on top of each other and then people go into the Dragonite and then, they would step on like 13 mines and just absolutely just explode trying to get the Dragonite. Be like, wait, what? But definitely at this point, it's just even match. And realistically, it's just who gets caught out of position. The death timers are so long in the game at this point that realistically, whoever loses out on a team fight is probably going to be the one who's going to be losing out on the game, just because that is where these games tend to go at this late in the game, especially on this type of map where you have an objective that scales over time and does at 21 minutes. The earliest we can get a Dragonite at this point is a 21-minute mark, and it's going to hit like a bus. And so, hitting the core with it, you can take down the shield in maybe 5-6 hits, and if your team's there and they can zone away the, Dad Force, ReGen could technically end it here, but at the same time, that win condition is still available for Dad Force. They have the bottom lane opened up just as much, and if they keep pushing up this lane and they get the Dragonite, they can just walk the Dragonite right into bottom lane and go straight for core and end it. So these teams, you can see them, they're playing extremely safe. I would expect to see Abathur mines start popping up in this kind of rotational area to see. But, well, someone's gonna have to respond to this eventually. Lunar putting the wisp out, trying to see where these members are. Templar, they will get scouted out as they're rotating through, and they just go ahead and start. They're very nervous about this bush, but at the same time, they don't need to take this invade. They can play safe. They don't need to do this. They have the win condition already. This top lane is going to stack up so hard. They don't need to play this. They don't need to play aggressively at all. They can let Dad Force come to them, and because they're currently losing a second keep. They need to respond to something at this point. Dad Force, you got to make a decision. I'm sorry. They currently lose the keep out, and it's starting to push onto core. And at this point, we just still have posturing from both teams, and ReGen's playing this extremely well. They get the disengage right away from Templar. They don't get a pull. They're playing this safe. Like, even though they're getting chased back into their Nexus, yes, core of Dad Force is going to start taking damage soon. The shields will be falling eventually. Now, they will have the splash damage, but it looks like Abathur is slugging his way down into the bottom lane. Oh, you have to be kidding me. There's no way he gets to snake this from the team. He looks like he'll back off, and he's just going to be in mid lane. But they're walking up the catapults, and it looks like they're going to try and end with just by walking up the catapults. What is this game that we are watching, team? Zul'Kan just pushing up the lanes with the... I've never seen Abathur just get so much free reign at this point. Like, I understand what Dad Force is attempting to do and what they want to do, but look at the map currently. Look at your mid lane. Look at your top lane. The longer, like, ReGen, they're winning this out. You guys are only delaying your inevitable. You got to either dive in now or go back and clear your core, because you currently have catapults just arriving across the death bridge. And this minion wave, it can get cleared out quite quickly. Zul'Kan's going to have the lurking arm. We do have a little bit of diving from Zad. There is the mosh pit onto 4 of the members. Leaping Strike is out. The huge... Oh my god, that's going to be... Taunt onto one of the members. So much damage is going out. They actually lose Altanian in that fight. Tofitz is the only one left. And... GG's already called. So it looks like ReGen might take this game. I mean, you never know. I mean, they could take 40-some seconds to rotate across the map. Catapult's already on core. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Abathur picking this up. He's already in position for it, and they just rotate in through the bottom lane and go for that core at this point. They're still chasing Tofitz, that base speed. Did he go for the... He didn't go for the increased speed, did he? He actually went for Abolish Magic, okay. Do have a power slide onto Tofitz here. There is the hop over, trying to get a little bit more damage down. Gotta pad those stats. But currently this is going to be the Dragonite moving on to the core. The breath goes out, and you can already see this is what I was talking about. It chunks at this point. The second game is going to be going over to ReGen. They will be taking 3 points in the series. GG, well played.